tea friends. This is Barb Gulley from Barbs Tea Service, and we're back in the studio, courtesy on TV.
We are back.
We are back, and I am here, as always, with studio engineer, co-host, and arm candy, Chris Gulley.
Yay.
Hi, Chris, and Merry Christmaka.
What? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be a bit of our theme today,
Okay. All right,
because
great.
it's Christmas Hanukkah week.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here with podcast 27.
What?
I know. And if you count a few of our remote podcasts, we are just shy of 30
Yes.
in 9 months.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So in the time one could have a baby,
Yes.
we have had almost 30 podcasts.
Huh. I'm not sure I get that, but okay.
Okay.
All right.
And what's kind of interesting about that is our goal was to try and keep these weekly.
Yeah.
So we're about 3
Yeah.
point plus
Yeah.
for our podcast.
Life happens, you know.
It does. And with all our traveling and that,
Yeah.
I think we've done pretty well.
We have. We've done great.
So, and let's see what we do for 2025.
Can't wait.
Me either.
All right.
Good. Okay. And as I mentioned, this is Christmas and Hanukkah week,
Yes.
also known as Christmaka.
It's very rare.
Very rare. The last one was 2005,
Uh-huh.
where Hanukkah and Christmas
Yep. Coincided. Yep.
coincided, right?
Yep.
And we won't have another one for quite a while. So
Yes.
double celebration.
Yep. Right.
And I thought we'll be keeping with this holiday theme since we just had
Yes.
Christmas
Yes.
and it's continuing.
Right.
So today what we're going to talk about
Mm-hmm.
is will be some special Christmas memories,
Okay.
ours,
Yes.
and a family who lived in a lighthouse in northern Michigan
Uh-huh.
over a century ago.
Okay. It's a very large nightlight.
That's right. I just got that.
Okay.
And we'll talk Christmas, Hanukkah,
Right.
and New Year's.
Uh-huh.
And Chris, do you know what special list comes out from Barb's Tea Service every
yes.
January?
Yes, it's my birthday gift list. What? That's not it?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
kind of part of it, right? It has nothing to do with it, does it?
no.
Just tell me.
Sorry.
Okay,
But your birthday is important.
that's right.
But no, this is the highly anticipated, at least by 3 people,
Uh-huh.
the Barb's Tea Service in-out list.
Well, it's a miracle. It's
It-
genius.
Well, it kind of is. Thank
Yeah.
you. But we've been doing this for over 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And it comes out in January. We're not going to do the whole list because
Okay.
you have to wait till January.
Yep.
But we'll give a few teasers.
Uh-oh. Okay, good.
And that includes the color of the year
Mm-hmm.
for 2025.
I did not know that was a thing.
It is. Oh, and it's delicious.
Okay.
And we also have a book about a famous actor, Hollywood legend named Rock, his story.
Oh, really?
But maybe not the one you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
And then we're going to talk about book nooks.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
And if we have time, we're going to wrap up with a specialty in DC
Uh-huh.
and maybe a dining tip,
Okay.
dining etiquette tip.
Okay, very good.
But first, tea.
Here we go. All right.
Okay, so today we're trying some Phyllis Earl Grey from Brook 37 Tea Atelier and Tea Time Magazine.
There it is.
And we're getting a look at it in
Uh-huh.
the camera, and it's this beautiful tin,
Uh-huh.
very nicely packaged. And this I found out about from Tea Time Magazine.
Yes.
This was made in honor of Phyllis Hoffman de Piano.
Okay.
She was the founder of Tea Time Magazine
Right.
and some other publications.
Right.
And this was made to honor her, and it's a contemporary version of Earl Grey.
Okay.
So they already had me at Earl Grey.
There you go. All right.
And so let's go ahead and take a taste and
All right.
see what this contemporary take
All right.
is.
Okay. Oh, it's a different kind of all right.
So what are you tasting?
Well, it's Earl Grey adjacent. It's got that, but the citrus has really been kind of amped up a bit. Not unpleasant, but that's definitely more of an astringent taste to me.
Okay. Because it isn't. It's they added a bit of pineapple.
Okay. There you go.
So
Yep.
that's probably stirring it up a bit.
Right.
And a bit of lavender.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So it's supposed to bring on calm and inspire creativity.
I think I'm there.
Do you?
One sip is all it took.
All right. Whoa, this is going to be a great podcast.
Okay.
But we can all use a little bit of that this time of year anyway.
Yeah.
So
days are short. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we need a little calm.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's be a little creative.
Right.
So, as I mentioned, I had not heard of this. It's called Brook 37.
Yes.
I hadn't heard of this before.
Right.
And once I dug into it a little bit, I could understand why. It's fairly new on the scene.
Okay.
It started in 2023.
All right. Very recent.
Very recent, right. And the founder and owner is a woman named Mu Dasgupta.
Okay.
And this company has a lot to really make you feel good.
Right.
It's all about sustainability,
Mhm.
giving back, and they have this mission of bringing quality teas to the market.
Okay. Good start.
It is a good start. And they also have some wellness teas. They have 4 different wellness teas, which I'm anxious to try.
Okay.
And they suggest using these sort of mixology.
Right.
These could be the mocktails.
Ah.
And what a nice option for dry January or throughout the year.
There you go.
And again, I didn't know too much about the tea, and the name was intriguing.
Yeah.
Brook 37.
That is different.
It is.
Yeah.
And I thought my mind went right to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
you know,
Okay. Yep.
cutting that short. But it's a portmanteau, a mashup of 2 words.
Okay.
Brooke, the founder of this company, she lives in a home that overlooks a brook.
Ah.
And it's a nod to the year 2737 BC.
BC. Uh-oh. Okay.
Yes.
That's going back a bit. A minute.
A couple minutes.
Yeah.
And that's when tea was supposed to have been discovered in
Okay.
China.
Ah. Oh.
So,
Okay.
Brook 37.
Wow.
So we're going to be doing more on this. We're going to be discovering more on this, exploring more, I should say,
Right.
on this brand. So I'm looking forward to that.
Very good.
And I just want to show, a lot of times we have different mugs.
Yeah.
You still have your
Yep.
Muppet mug.
Yes. Love it.
And I've got this one.
Yeah.
Can
Oh,
you
look
see
at those.
that?
Look at those lovely ladies on that. Right.
So this is one of my favorite mugs for the season,
Uh-huh.
and it's from Frankenmuth.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a picture of
Yes.
myself and my 2 other sisters.
Uh-huh.
These are my cousins.
Yes.
And we've been doing quarterly outings for
Right,
years.
right,
And
right, right.
we always do a Christmas one, and probably half a dozen we've been at Frankenmuth.
Uh-huh.
We make it a whole thing, stay overnight,
Right.
spend half a day in Bronner's.
Okay.
And they have so many interesting things. And there was a story about Bronner's recently,
Mhm.
and Bronner started out as a young gentleman
Yep.
doing window displays
Yep.
for businesses,
Uh-huh.
and it just
Right.
went wild with people asking him to do more. They really liked it.
Right.
Then it got seasonal, and then
Right.
he had this store.
He saw an opportunity.
He saw an opportunity. And I remember going to Frankenmuth before the big Bronner's.
Yes,
You know,
right,
it was
right.
this little shop in town.
Right.
And wasn't open on the weekends, or at least on Sunday. But now
Yep.
it's open.
It's a Christmas juggernaut.
It is. It is. And it's just a really nice way, if you haven't been there before.
Right.
It's a nice way to kick in the holiday season.
Right.
So please enjoy that. And I'm
Very
going to have
good.
another sip from my favorite mug.
Excellent.
Okay.
That is good.
It is.
All right.
Okay, so those are some of my holiday memories. But in this week's blog, we wrote about a family that lived in the Grand Traverse Lighthouse.
Right.
So that's, those of you who aren't familiar, it's in Northport, which is the
Yep. The tip of the Leelanau Peninsula.
right. So very far up.
Right. Right.
And it's a bit of a hike now, but you can imagine
Right. Back in the day.
in the 1920s, it was
Yeah.
pretty remote.
Right.
And the woman, this the family that lived there were the McCormicks.
Okay.
James was the innkeeper.
Right.
And
the lighthouse keeper.
Lighthouse keeper.
Right.
And he and his wife Mary had 8 children.
Right.
And this book about the memories of growing up in this lighthouse was written by Betty McCormick. She was the second youngest of the family. And so there's 8 children, and she published this book in 1990.
Okay.
And it talks all about, again, their life up there.
Right.
Including Christmas Eve memories.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to show this book on the camera.
Okay. Oh, let me switch.
You can see that.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So in this book, this is the book, the souvenir book.
Right.
But she has a book about the family.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Grand Times and Grand Traverse.
Right.
We'll put that out there later. And I'll take it back.
Okay.
And she talks about the memories for Christmas Eve. And what one of the activities was the children would go out and pick out their own Christmas tree.
Uh-huh.
And you can imagine they just had to go out their back door.
There's a few pine trees out there, I'm guessing. Yep.
Few pine trees. The older children would help chop it down.
Yep.
They'd bring it in.
Yep.
Parents would help them decorate.
Right.
They'd put real candles on it.
Yes.
And light it.
Yeah.
But not too long.
Yeah, that's dicey.
Yeah, that is dicey.
Yep.
And so, and she talks about this idyllic scene where the kids were wrapping presents in the dining room. Dad's watching the weather and the fire in the fireplace. Mm-hmm. Mom's popping popcorn in the kitchen. You know, old-fashioned way, no Jiffy Pop.
Oh, no. No way.
And just really, really sweet. But, you know, it had a lot of charm, but they had challenges, too.
Yeah.
But we actually went there not long ago.
This year,
This year in October. And when you go in, it became a museum in 1988. I should add that. So now you can go in.
It's decommissioned.
Yes. So we weren't intruding on a
No,
family.
that's right. Get out of here.
What are you doing here? So they have a lot of the McCormick family possessions.
Right.
There's the mother's pump organ.
Yeah.
Her cherished Haviland china.
Uh-huh.
And there's a mirrored shelf where she kept these pretty porcelain canisters that held sugar, coffee, and tea.
Very good. All right.
And those pictures are in the blog as well.
Right.
But what we did when we were there, and we went there with our friends, and we all went up those very narrow steps.
Yes, it was a tight fit.
It was. But it was a long climb and the view though.
Yeah.
It was worth it, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I was thinking if it was a VRBO today, you would pay
for this. Yep. Mm-hmm.
For that.
Right.
For that $1 million view.
Yes.
I would say. But also in that same lens, if that was a rental back in Betty's time,
you might pass, huh?
I would give it a hard pass because the facilities were outside.
Yeah.
And in the winter, that trek to the privy, you could face up to 7 feet of snow.
You really had to be committed.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. That's tough. So we live in a golden age. But what did you think of that?
Oh, so it was, as a tourist place, it was great. I always like kind of the authentic, this is how it was. And you're right. It's, it's kind of charming and romantic in that sense of the word. But I was kind of reflecting that, that was the technology of the time. And I think in the museum, they also had kind of a map of all of the shipwrecks.
Oh, yeah.
that are in the area.
Right.
Michigan is actually very much a maritime area, and there's a lot of ships, through history, and a lot of them went down, and this was the purpose of the lighthouse. Now, that's not a terribly common occurrence these days, in that we have a lot better technology, but that was at that time that was all people had, and so it kind of bears thinking about, in terms of how people got around, how you got your goods, and through that, and that was a very important role for the time.
It really was, right.
And I think I appreciate that they're taking care of it, and it gives you a chance to see how that really was back then.
Right. You really get immersed in that,
Right,
and you
right.
can see and the quarters that they lived in.
Yep,
and
right.
Pretty incredible.
Yep.
So yeah, good point.
Yep.
So it was fun to see too how they celebrated their Christmas,
Right.
Christmas traditions. And that
Right.
brings us back to this week
Uh-huh.
of Christmaka.
Yes.
And
There's that word again.
I know. And this is another portmanteau.
Okay.
So we're combining Christmas and Hanukkah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And excuse me, we did have it started back in Europe,
Right.
in German-speaking countries.
Right.
It was the middle class,
Yeah.
upper middle class Jewish communities,
Mhm.
and they would put these together.
Right.
After World War II, it was
Right. It was imported. Yeah.
in
We'll take anything.
right, and sort of maybe mellowed down a
Yeah,
little bit,
right.
or more known in certain
Right,
areas. But it got its takeoff from in pop culture.
Yeah. The word.
The word
Yeah.
portmanteau.
Yeah.
Christmaka,
Yes.
from the series The OC.
Oh boy, that's rubbing off some memory cells there.
Really,
Yeah.
it is. Because in the OC, this is a teen drama
Right.
starting in 2003.
Right.
And Seth, one of the characters, his parents, his father's Jewish, his
Right.
mother's Protestant.
Right.
So he puts this together.
Uh-huh.
And it really
Yeah.
came into the everyday lexicon,
Right.
if you will. And I actually witnessed when it first came on the OC.
You were there.
Because I was watching it with our daughter, Rachel,
Uh-huh.
who was probably junior high-ish
Right.
at that time. And I want to just
Mhm.
say that, not all teen dramas are just angst and
Yeah.
mean girls.
Yeah. They should be.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's where that came in. And I'm going to say,
Mm-hmm.
it occurred to me that in almost 30 podcasts that we have done,
Right.
we've never had we've never had a portmanteau before.
And it's never going to stop now, is it?
We have two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Very good.
Yes. So anyway, we talked about the occurrence of the two coming together.
Right.
Last one was 2005.
Right.
And it's because of the different calendars.
Right.
So we follow the Gregorian calendar.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which follows.
Well, so it was based on, I think, the Julian calendar. That was kind of, and then that had, they were having problems kind of lining up seasons and holidays and dates and that sort of thing. So they did a fix of that. It was in the Pope named Pope Gregory,
Right.
who commissioned this, and it was basically to establish when these religious holidays needed to be celebrated, at least in the Catholic Church. So I think it's kind of based on the solar calendar, 365 days,
Right.
0.24, which gives us the leap year.
Yes.
So that's what that is generally based on.
Right. And so the departure is with the Hebrew calendar. It's more
It's lunar based.
lunar based.
Right.
So theirs is a little bit off
Right.
from ours.
Well, so they've got, I think you mentioned, we have to add a day every 4 years
Right,
to sync that
right.
up. I believe, and I could be wrong, I think an entire month is added occasionally to get that to sync up.
Right.
I don't know when, but that's
Right.
That's
Right. So, so when it does happen, it's kind of special.
Yeah.
And again, we're doing, it amps up our
Yep.
celebration.
Right.
But the next Christmaka will not occur until 2035.
Well, we need to be there.
We do.
right.
We do. Okay. So speaking of calendars, our holiday calendar is also a bit of a mashup.
Yes.
And we celebrate with different traditions, and they change up a little bit, but we have some kind of set.
Right.
And the first one that we do is with our extended family. For the past 20 years or so, we've done the Christmas tree tour.
Yes, we do.
And what we do is we go to everybody's house.
Yep.
We have a refreshment,
Mm-hmm.
some entertainment, and we look at the tree.
Yes, and have a picture taken. And
That's right. That is mandatory. Sometimes we forget, so we have to.
Yeah. Right.
Got to backtrack a little bit. But it started out, I think, initially with like 4 stops.
Right.
Then, as our kids got older, had their own house, their own tree that we could go to. A few years ago, we maxed out at 7
It was
stops.
getting to be a bit.
It was a little bit much.
Yeah.
So we divided.
Yes.
North and south.
Yes.
But not Gulley versus Ingman.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's
no
all
civil war here.
no. It's very civil.
Yeah.
And we now do about 3 stops.
Yep.
1 year, 3 stops on the other.
Yeah, it all works out.
It all works out. And we have to give shout outs to the games this year.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Glenn with his Christmas Jeopardy.
Yes.
And you brought it into the 2024.
Yes. Yeah.
With
I was able to display his board on our TV, so that was a big hit.
A lot easier to read, but really fun.
Right.
Great prizes. Then to Marty, who had the Feely Mealy.
Yes, which is, I'm not sure you have enough time to describe that game, but it's actually a game back in the 60s or something
right,
like that.
a Milton Bradley or something.
Yeah.
And
So
and,
look it up.
Yes, so that was fun. And then Rob and Megan had a
Yep.
Santa baby.
Yes.
They were our special guests, I think, last pod.
They were, yes.
And so they did a really fun game,
Yep.
and it was just wonderful.
Right.
So we keep that up. And then Christmas is a little bit of a potpourri,
Right.
mix up family, friends. This year we were with the sisters.
There you go.
That was fun.
Yep.
And then our nuclear family.
Yeah,
Our
right.
celebration now is New Year's Eve.
Yeah, because we're a bit more widespread, and we have to kind of, people have to come in from out of town. And
Exactly,
that sort of thing.
exactly. So we all assemble, and we have this, which you started a long time ago.
Right.
Our New Year's Eve, what we call fondue.
That's right.
It's fondue.
Yes. It's basically you're sticking food in hot oil, and that's it.
And chocolate.
That's right.
At the end.
We do melted chocolate and fruit. And
Right,
it's a whole
right.
thing. You can, I found that you can bribe family members with food if you want them to spend time with you at the holidays.
I know. I thought this was genius
Yeah.
because even when our kids were teenagers, this was we wanted to keep them kind of close to home.
Right,
I mean,
right,
still go out and enjoy yourself, but hang back a little bit, and you make something delicious.
That's right.
And fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. They will follow.
They'll be there.
You build it.
Yeah.
You build the fondue.
There you
they
go.
will come.
Very good.
Okay. So those are some of our holiday traditions.
Right.
But this brings us. We talked about New Year's Eve.
Right.
January.
Yes.
Barb's Tea Services in out list.
I think people can't wait for that. At least the 3 people.
At least 3. So we thank you.
Yeah.
Those 3 people. So the Pantone color of this year is
Yes.
Mocha Mousse.
That sounds like a flavor.
It does. Something very delicious.
Okay.
And it was a bit of a surprise because it's not a vibrant shade. They went for a neutral.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read a little bit from their news, their press release, because you don't want to miss this.
No.
So they say Mocha Mousse is imbued with richness, and it nurtures us with its suggestions of the delectable qualities of coffee and chocolate. We should say also tea.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's answering our desire for comfort.
Yeah.
It's both grounding and decadent.
Yeah.
And it's luxurious in a dessert kind of way because, as noted in the magazine W, pudding can be elegant.
You know what? This color is carrying a lot of weight.
It really is.
I mean, there's a lot going on there.
There is.
Yeah.
But and at the end of the day, it makes you want to have something chocolatey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's good, but
Right.
anyway. So we've been doing our in-out list for over 10 years.
Right.
But if you go to our January in-out list of 2024, this past January, we talked about the color that was brought on. This color for this year was. Do you know what it was?
I have no idea.
It was. What was it? Oh, it was Peach Fuzz.
Peach Fuzz. That's
Peach
right.
Fuzz, yes.
All right.
And it was chosen for radiance and warmth and modern elegance.
Again, wow.
Ooh, a lot of heavy lifting, right. But it replaced the color of 2023, which was Viva Magenta.
Wow.
And that was chosen for being brave and fearless and promoting joyous and optimistic celebration.
Okay.
To which I added Honolulu Blue.
Oh, that's right.
Because
a certain team.
A certain team.
Yep.
The fans have been brave and fearless for over 30 years, and we are waiting for that joyous and optimistic celebration.
There you go. Very good.
Okay. So I see we have just about 5 minutes left.
Right. Yep.
So I'll just mention a few more of the teasers.
Right. Okay.
So one is, as I mentioned, the story of Rock.
Okay.
A somewhat Hollywood legend, but not for being famous, for
Yep.
trying to be famous.
That's right.
And that's in this book here.
All right. Got it.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And this is about a star who, or it would be
A star who never was.
Star who never was.
Yeah.
But it's his journey.
Yes.
And he says he didn't let lack of talent or good looks stop him.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and he has all these near misses.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, if even just the chapter on his opportunity to be an extra on Spartacus, it was he was chosen to be Spartacus number 6.
Yes.
You know, this is that.
Yeah. I am Spartacus. Iconic. It's iconic.
It's everyone knows that.
Yeah, right.
That story and the guys coming to support Spartacus.
Right.
And they're all saying they're Spartacus. So this Rock Davenport.
Yeah.
And I should mention his story is told by Ed E.
Yes.
That book.
All right.
So he's captured it all.
He has.
but when his time came, so Rock he's studying this line. He's going over and over and over again.
He's dedicated.
He's dedicated. But when it comes time, he freezes.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's kind of
that's how you roll.
It's another epic fail.
Okay.
So, but it's a
compelling story.
It's a compelling story.
Right.
Sort of. Okay. And then I do want to let folks know that we do in our in-out list we do cover some tea.
Okay.
And tea adjacent stories. And I want to mention really quick though. I mentioned that I think personal libraries are going to be a thing.
Okay.
As well as book nooks.
Book nooks.
And I'm going to
Okay, here we go.
bring this out because
Okay, there you go. Good.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Whoops.
Yep.
Oh,
A little all right. Okay.
here's
We're scattering the props.
the props.
Okay.
Okay. So personal libraries.
Yep.
Big thing. A book nook is something that's these little vignettes, these models.
Yes.
Like a model airplane. But
Right,
these
right,
are
right.
little nooks,
Yep.
and it can be a cafe.
Right.
They have garden sheds.
Right.
This one that my co-host got me for Christmas is a tea room.
Yes.
And you put these, it fits like a book on your bookshelf.
Right.
Excuse me.
You're
Allergies.
getting you're getting so excited.
I'm getting verklempt. I'm all choked up about this. Okay, so the this one is I brought some of the parts. There's the teacup, a chair, and the cash register.
Okay.
The tea room's got to pay the bills, right?
Yes, that's right. Okay.
And I'm just going to show real quick.
Oh, okay. Yep. Go ahead. Yep.
Look at all those parts.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, so we have to sign off. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And as always, I want to thank my On TV Studios, my co-host.
Here we are.
And
there we go.
please stay tuned.
All right. Very good.